Okay, here we are continuing day 32. This is the second part of this day's lesson, and we are working on inequalities. So we did number 9. I'm going to jump to number 13. I'm doing every fourth one just to try to get a mix of different kinds of inequalities. And remember, we solve inequalities the same way you solve regular equations. You try to manipulate it till you get left with the variable, what the variable is equal to. So number 13 has 13x minus 7. 13x minus 7 is greater than or equal to 25 minus 3 times x. So we want a number when you multiply by 13 and subtract 7, it's going to be greater than or equal to 25 minus 3 times that number. Well, sounds kind of confusing, but we're going to work it down to where we just have x is greater than or equal to, or x is less than or equal to. We're not sure what it's going to be by the time we finish. Okay, here we go. This is number 13. Okay, so we want to get the x's on the same side. So you got 13 over here, and you got minus 3 over here. If I add 3x to both sides, that's going to get rid of the x's on this side because this is minus 3x. If we add 3x, that becomes 0. But we'll have x's over here. So if we add 3x to both sides, this is now going to become 16x minus 7 is greater than or equal to 25. But this part disappears. We moved it to this side by adding 3x. And that's made it disappear over here because it's 0 when you do minus 3x plus 3x. Okay, now we want the number minus 7 over here. So what do? We add 7. That'll give us the 16x because minus 7 plus 7 is 0 is greater than or equal to. But if we added 7 here, we have to add 7 here. 25 plus 7, 32. Now, we want 1x. We've got 16 x's. What do? Well, we're going to divide by 16. That'll make it 1. 16 divided by 16 is 1. So we divide this set by 16. And we are ended up with 1x. We just write the x is greater than or equal to 32 divided by 16 is 2. X is greater than or equal to 2. Did you get that? Remember, try to do these on your own by, by pausing your video whenever you can. Even in the middle of a problem, you can pause it and try to do the rest by yourself. Okay, I'm going to do 4 more. 4 plus 13 is 17. So I'm going to do that one up there. Okay, number 17. It says 6 is less than or equal to 3 times, parentheses, x plus 3. That means the 3 is multiplied times the x and also times the 3. So 6 is less than or equal. I want to get rid of this 3, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to divide by 3. Because this is multiplying by 3, I'm going to divide by 3. But if I divide by 3, got to divide this side by 3 also. You always do to the same thing to each side. 6 divided by 3 is 2, is less than or equal to, this becomes 1, so it disappears. 1 times x plus 3 is just x plus 3. Now, when I get rid of the x, I'm going to subtract 3. This is add 3, I subtract 3. That means 2 minus 3 is less than or equal to x. 2 minus 3 is what? Do you know? Well, you got a positive and a negative, so you subtract, you get 1, and it's minus 1 because the 3 is bigger. Negative 1, 2 minus 3 is the opposite of 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. 2 minus 3 is negative 1, is less than or equal to x. Or you could say x is greater than or equal to negative 1. You could turn it this way. You can read it either way. Okay, number 17. Moving on to number, somehow I goofed. Did I goof? 17, 21. We'll do 21 and 24, even though we're not supposed to do 24. But we'll do that one. Okay, number 21. Can you see it? Not quite. Okay. I think we'll do this, push this up. Oh, what did you move? What the heck? Okay, stuck to the table. I'll move this down a little. I can move it over. 21. 30 is greater than or equal to 5 times x plus 4. By the way, you can do the other ones. I just can't do them all, but take way too long of recording. But you can practice it on your own. And remember, the answers are just the next page or so. The answers are all there on your guide. Okay. Oh, what's different about this? Well, this has signs here greater than or equal and signs there greater than or equal. I almost forgot how to do this guide. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it in two parts. We're going to do this part first. 30 is greater than or equal to 5 times x plus 4. And we're going to ignore this part for now. We're just going to do this part and try to solve it. Okay. Now, we could multiply the 5 times the x and 5 times the 4, right? That'll give us 5x plus 20. Or we could also do this. We could right now divide both sides by 5, and that'll get rid of the 5. I'm going to do that. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And that'll give me 6. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Is greater than or equal to 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times x plus 4 is just x plus 4. Okay? Now I can get rid of the 4 by subtracting 4 from both sides. So I get 6 minus 4 is greater than or equal to x. I subtracted 4. Now that's 2 is greater than or equal to x. Okay, or x is less than or equal to 2. That's partly done, part done. Now I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do this is greater than or equal to 10. So 5 times x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 10. I barely fit. So again, I could multiply the 5 times this, or I can divide both sides by 5 and get rid of that 5. That's what I'm going to do. Divide both sides by 5. I end up with x plus 4, because 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times x plus 4 is x plus 4. Is greater than or equal to 2. So I'm going to subtract 4. I get x, subtract the 4, is greater than or equal to 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4 is the opposite of 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Now, I got this answer, and I got this answer. And I can put them together just like this. I'll start with this. 2 is greater than or equal to x, which is greater than or equal to negative 2. Now, that's a good answer, but they like to begin with the smaller numbers and move towards the big numbers. Negatives are smaller than positives. So I'm going to start turning it around like this. Negative 2, but I have to put less. I'm going this way, so I have to put less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 2. Like that. I just turned it around. I took the mirror image, kind of, right? Now, how do you graph that? Let me show you how to graph it. So if this is your number line, and this is 0, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and on this side you've got negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative, and of course it keeps going, right? It says x can be negative 2. It can be equal to negative 2. So we're not going to put a circle. Since it can be negative 2, we put a solid colored dot, not a circle, which means it can't be negative 2. It can be equal to negative 2, and x is a negative 2 is less than x. That means x can be bigger than negative 2, but it's less than or equal to 2. So I'm going to go all the way to 2, put a dot there. It could be 2, and everything in between. All of this works. Even 0 works. If you put 0 in here, you get 0 times 5 is 0. 30 is greater than or equal to 0. I'm sorry. If you put a 0 in here, you get 0 plus 4 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 30 is greater than or equal to 20, which is greater than or equal to 10. It works, right? So 0, all this on the inside works. That's how you would graph it. Anyway, that's number 21. And we're going to do one more just like this. Number 24. See 24 there? Okay, I'm going to have to move down here a little. Okay. 22 is less than or equal to 6x minus 2. 22, this is number 24. 22 is less than or equal to 6x minus 2, which is less than or equal to 4x plus 16. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. This certainly looks like it's going to be hard, right? Well, we're just going to do this part first. Okay? 22 is less than or equal to, stop calling me. Who's calling me all these weird people? I don't know who they are. Okay, 22 is less than or equal to 6x minus 2. Okay, I'll get rid of the 2 first. I add 2 to both sides because this is minus 2. I add 2. This becomes 24 because I add 2 to that side is less than or equal to 6x. Right? Divide by 6. That'll give me 1x. 24 divided by 6 is 4 is less than or equal to x. There, I'm already done one side. 4 is less than or equal to x. That means x can be 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9.5 or 10.37. They're all bigger than 4. Okay, this side. I'm going to start with the 6x minus 2 again. This time it's less than or equal to 4x plus 16. Okay? I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides to get rid of the 4x. And we'll leave the x's on this side. 6x minus 4x is 2x. Minus 2 is less than or equal to, I subtracted 4x, that's gone, so I just have 16. Now I'm going to add 2 to both sides to get rid of the 2. 2x is less than or equal to 18 because I added 2 to both sides. What do I do now? I divide by 2. X is less than or equal to 9. Now, 4 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 9. I can put them together like this. 4 is less than or, can't see it. 4 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 9. X is between 4 and 9 inclusive, meaning that it could be 4 and it could be 9. Or it could be 5, 6, 7, 8, or it could be 5.32. It could be any number in between. Got it? That's number 24. Okay, so we're going to go down and look at the word problems here now. See what we can do with these. The perimeter of a square can be found using the formula P equals 4S, where S is one of the sides of the square. Well, that makes sense. The perimeter is just the distance around. So if you want to go around a object, you just add each side together. But in this case, in a square, they're all the same. So you have S and S and S and S, or you could just say 4 times S, because there's 4 S's, right? So that's the area. P, perimeter, equals 4S. Perimeter is 4 times the side. Okay, the perimeter of a square is less than or equal to 64. Which of the following represents the possible measures of the side of a square in inches? Okay, look. We're doing number 25. Now, we know that a square of a side S, if you want to get the perimeter, it's equal to 4 S's. 4 times S. Now, it says, which of the following represents the possible measures of the side of the square in inches? Well, what did it say? It's the perimeter is less than or equal to 64. So the perimeter is 4S, right? Is less than or equal to 64. 4 times the sides must be less than or equal to 64 because it says the perimeter is less than or equal to 64. How do you get S? You divide by 4. S is less than or equal to 16. Is that there? Is that one of the answers? Here's a 16, but this says S is greater than or equal to 16. We don't want that one. How about A? A says S is less than or equal to 16. A is the correct answer. A is less than or equal to 16. That's what I got. Okay. Number 26. This is graphing. Which one is the correct graphing, I guess, huh? 3 added to the product of -4 and a number x is less than 5 added to the product of -3 and the number. Which of the following is a graph of the solution set of x? Well, that sounds hard, but it's really just doing the stuff that we did up here. So let's try writing it out. Let's take our time. Number 26. 3 added to the product of -4 and a number. So the product of -4 and a number, the product of -4 and a number, that's a product. Product means multiply. -4 and the number. And it says 3 added to that. So you do add 3. They put the 3 first. I'll put it here. 3 plus -4x, or I could put -4x plus 3, really. Okay? Is less than 5 added to the product of -3 in the number. So the product of -3 in the number is -3x, and you're adding 5 to it. 5 added to the product of -3 in the number. Right? Okay, so we got to solve this. Well, here's the problem. We've got -4x here, -3x here. If I add 4x to get rid of this, I'm going to have -3x plus 4x, and the positive's bigger. That's what I want. I want a positive x, just easier. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add 4x to both sides. That'll make this 0, and we'll be just left with 3 is less than 5 plus, we got -3x, but we're going to add 4x, positive 4. So positive 4 and -3 is the same as 4 minus 3 is 1. But we don't put a 1, we just put the x. So 3 is less than 5 plus x. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. 3 minus 5 is the opposite of 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2, so 3 minus 5, because we're subtracting 5, is -2, is less than x. Or x is greater than, we could say x is greater than -2. Well, that's pretty easy to graph. If this is 0, I'm going to go to -2. This is -1, -2. And I'm going to, it can't be -2, so I have to put a circle, not a dot. And I'm going to go, it's greater than -2. It goes that way. It's bigger than -2. There I go. How's that? Now let me see if any of them match. This is beginning at 2. Nope. This is beginning at 2. Nope. This is beginning at -2, but it's going smaller than. This one's beginning at -2, and it's going bigger than. That. It's that one. Now, how can you check? Suppose you didn't know. Well, I say, look, 0 is only on both of these. Let me see if 0 works. This 0 becomes 3, and this 0 becomes 5. 3 is less than 5. 0 does work, so now I know it's got to be one of these. Now this one has 5. This one doesn't have 5. Let me try 5. See how 5 is on them, but 5 is not on them? It's got to be A or D. 5. This is -15. 5 minus 15 is -10. This is -20. -17. -17 is less than -10. Yeah, so that works. This one works. Anyway, you didn't have to check it. You just have to find the right one, and we found the right one. Got it? Okay, let's see what our time is up to here. 19 minutes, and we haven't even gotten to this last page. The last page is not a last page. It's got two sides to it, doesn't it? Man alive. These are all the same kind of thing. More practice of them. I guess I could do some of them. But we'll do a few, and then we'll just stop it right there, okay? So let me see if I can find some that are different. This paper's kind of messed up, so I'm going to do one on this one. Pick out one. Which one do you want me to do? Notice that they don't all have X's. Some of them have N's, some of them have M's. How about this one here? Number 7. I'm going to do number 7. Right there. 4 plus n over 3. So I'm doing number 7 on this page. This is page 9 of 12. And it says 4 plus n over 3 is less than 6. Now, what's different about this page is you have to graph your answers too. So this will be a good chance to do a little bit of graphing. Okay, here we go. I copied it over here. 4 plus n over 3 is less than 6. So let's see, I'll get rid of I could try to get rid of the 3, but if I multiply by 3, I'm going to have to multiply times this. So what I'm going to do is get rid of the 4. I'm going to subtract 4. So I end up with n over 3. If I subtract 4, you subtract 4 on the other side, you get 2. N over 3 is less than 2. Now I'm going to multiply. This is dividing by 3, so I'm going to multiply by 3. That'll make 1. So then I'll get n is less than, now I'm multiplying by 3, so I multiply that by 3, I get 6. N is less than 6. Now how would you do that? You'd go to your 6, and it's less than, not less than or equal, so you have to have an open circle, and it's less than, it goes that way. Less than, that's how you would graph it. N is less than 6. Anyway, that's number 7. Any others from here? Which one? How about number 12? Okay, we'll do number 12. So I'm going to copy it over. 12 says negative 9 plus a divided by 15 is greater than 1. Negative 9 plus a divided by 15 is greater than 1. So I want to get to just a. I'm going to multiply times 15 to get rid of that 15 there. So 15 times this, the 15s cancel. One's dividing, one's multiplying. I'm left with minus 9 plus a is greater than, but I have to multiply 1 times 15 because that's easy. That's just 15. Now, how do I get rid of minus 9? I add 9. Minus 9 and add 9 is 0, so it disappears. A is greater than, but I have to add 9 to this side too. 15 and 9. 15 and 10 is 25. 15 and 9 is 24. And there's my answer. A is greater than 24. Again, you would go to 24 on your number line, put an open circle, and an arrow going to the right. Okay, so here on your paper, you would go to the 24, you'd put an open circle, and you'd put a line going this way. That would be your answer. Okay? If you put 24 in here, by the way, you get 24 minus 9 is 15 over 15 is 1. 1 is not greater than 1. It's equal to 1. That's why 15 doesn't work. It's equal, not greater. But anything a little bit bigger is going to work. Okay, here we go. Let's look on the back. Well, we don't have a back here. We must have some other where. This one here, yeah. We got this one. Okay, we got a few minutes. Any you want to try here? They're all kind of the same stuff we've been doing. They all have a single variable. Well, what do you want to do? I don't know. They're all kind of the same. How much time do we have? Okay, we'll just do 2 real quick here, okay? In fact, I'll start right here. I'll do right in order, number 13 and 14. Let's see how fast we can do these. Okay. Well, I'll try to do them right underneath. Minus 1 less than or equal to v minus 2 over 21. Can you see that, first of all? Okay, I'm going to multiply by 21 to get the v minus 2. So that gives me v minus 2. I multiply by 21, but I have to multiply the other side by 21. 21 times minus 1 is minus 21. Okay, I add 2 to both sides now to get the v. That'll make this disappear, but I got minus 21 plus 2 is minus 19. Because the 2 is positive, you have to subtract it from the 21. You get minus 19 is less than or equal to v. So you go to minus 19, which is here, and it's less than or equal, so you get a solid dot on the 19. And v is greater than or equal to minus 19. Greater than is that way. Even though the numbers look smaller, they're negative, so this way is the bigger one. Okay? Now, you know what I wanted to do somewhere is to show you what happens when you have, okay, let's try, well, this is dividing by a negative. Yeah, let's see what happens when we do this. Watch this one. Negative 90 is greater than or equal. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to divide, well, I'm going to copy it first. Now, I want to get rid of this negative 5, so I'm going to divide by negative 5. And I'm going to divide this by negative 5. But here's the trick. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you're going to change the sign the other way around. It's going to become less than or equal to. It was greater than or equal to, we'll change x. I could show you why, but we don't have a lot of time to show you why. Okay, negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1, so this just becomes k minus 3. Negative 90 divided by negative 5 is a negative divided by a negative. Becomes what? Is that 14? No. 16, right? No. 18. Sorry, 18. 18 is less than or equal to k minus 3. Now we add 3, we get 21 is less than or equal to k. Or k is less than or equal, oh, not 21, not 18. Sorry, 21. K is greater than or equal to 21. There we go. Now, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to turn your sign around. I'll show you why. Suppose you have end up with, let's just say, suppose you end up with negative x is equal to 17. I'm sorry, is greater than or equal to 17. Negative x is greater than or equal to 17, right? But we don't like negative, so we're going to add x to both sides, right? That'll make this 0 is greater than or equal to 17, and we added x plus x. Now we're going to subtract 17 from both sides. You get negative 17, because you subtract 17, is greater than or equal to x, right? But this is the same as x is less than or equal to negative 17, because you can read it this way. So see what happens? If I had multiplied by negative 1, I could have gotten the same answer, but I'd have to flip the sign around. You end up flipping the sign around. It would be negative 1 times this becomes x, and this becomes negative 17, but you have to flip the sign around too, because in a way you're flipping them to the other side. You move them to the other side. Anyway, that's a special little rule. If you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you have to also flip the signs. And we're going to stop right there because we're at 29 minutes. This is also a very big lesson. So we're going to stop there. You can try the others. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is kind of confusing, but at least it's in your head now, and you have a general idea of how to solve these. You solve inequalities the same way you solve equalities, by manipulating it to get just the variable left to see what it's equal to or greater than or less than. Okay, that's it for now.